He never came to me when I would call unless I had a tennis ball, or he felt like it. But mostly he didn't come at all. When he was young, he never learned to heel or sit or stay. He did things his way. Discipline was not his bag, but when you were with him, things sure didn't drag. He'd dig up a rose bush just to spite me, and when I'd grab him, he'd turn and bite me. He bit lots of folks from day to day. The delivery boy was his favorite prey. The gas man wouldn't read our meter. He said we owned a real man-eater. He set the house on fire, but the story's long to tell. Suffice to say that he survived and the house survived as well. And on evening walks, and Gloria took him, he was always first out the door. The old one and I brought up the rear because our bones were sore. And he'd charge up the street with Mom hanging on. What a beautiful pair they were. And if it was still light and the tourists were out, they created a bit of a stir. But every once in a while, he'd stop in his tracks and with a frown on his face, look around. It was just to make sure that the old one was there to follow him where he was bound. We're early to bedders in our house. I guess I'm the first to retire. And as I'd leave the room, he'd look at me and get up from his place by the fire. He knew where the tennis balls were upstairs, and I'd give him one for a while, and he'd push it under the bed with his nose, and I'd dig it out with a smile. But before very long, he'd tire of the ball, and he'd be asleep in his corner in no time at all. And there were nights when I'd feel him climb upon our bed and lie between us, and I'd pat his head. And there were nights when I'd feel this stare, and I'd wake up and he'd be sitting there, and I'd reach out to stroke his hair, and sometimes I'd feel him sigh, and I think I know the reason why. He'd wake up at night and he would have this fear of the dark, of life, of lots of things, and he'd be glad to have me near. And now he's dead. And there are nights when I think I feel him climb upon her bed and lie between us, and I pat his head. And there are nights when I think I feel that stare, and I reach out my hand to stroke his hair, and he's not there. Oh, how I wish that wasn't so. I'll always love a dog named Bo.
God made a dog, he stood back and smiled. He knew the joy it would bring to the face of a child. To be by your side until the very end. It was a good day when God made man's best friend. And I had a dog, and she'd run with me. She'd chase through the fields, and she'd play catch with me. She was by my side almost every day, through good and the bad. She showed me the way. a dog, she touched a love in me. Then came the day I had put an end to her pain. I looked in her eyes as she faded away. Into God's hands, that was a lonely day. And I had a dog, now she's happy and free. She's running through the fields the way it should be. You know, when God made a dog, He stood back and smiled. He knew the joy it would bring, if just for a little while.
I know it's heavy, she said, but you gotta go. Take it with you down the road. My legs were burning, my back was on fire. I was on my knees, no time at all. Well, it's heavy, but you gotta go. It's heavy, just bring it home. All my relations live in my blood, see through my eyes at all I done. I carry them with me all along my way. If I only listen to what they say, it might get easier, may the night teach me to be grateful for all I got. Well, it's heavy, but you gotta go. It's heavy, just bring it home. Past ain't over, it's happening now. I can wade in this water anytime I want. Learn some lessons, right some wrongs, make me stronger when I lift that stone. Well, it's heavy, but you gotta go. It's heavy, just bring it home. Future ain't tomorrow, it's happening now. Listen to the changes, feel it in your power. And I know it's heavy, but I gotta go and take it with me on my way home. Well, And you remember what it's like when all the world's filled with light. Now do you have that in your sight? Spread it around, do. Spread it around, do. Spread it around, do. Have you felt joy in your days? Even though you've had your share of pain, but does hoarding all that joy gain? Spread it around, do. Spread it around, do. Spread it around, do. Has your belly ever been full? And have you fed your family too? Does your table have just a little more room? Spread it around, do. Spread it around, do. Spread it around, do. Are your blankets soft and warm? Does the roof above you keep out the storm? Can you save someone else from being cold? Spread it around, spread it around, do. Spread it around, do. True about love, it'll die if it's covered up. It's gotta be all given away, so we can all feel the heat of its rays. Remember what it's like when all the world's filled with light. Now do you have that in your sight? Spread it around, do. Spread it all around, do. Spread it around, do. Spread it around, do. Spread it around.